Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around.
Our conversations in the breaks are a lot more interesting.
Generally,
but
it's
during the break involves a lot of swearing.
Yeah, we respect the space and we respect the ground rules that swearing only in the biblical sense.
Yes, absolutely. Cursing.
Yeah. So this boy in Irving, Texas, Ahmed Mohamed, 13 years old. I guess you give us a rundown. He built something at his house and he took it to school.
Well, the story that first came out is, he took a school project, got arrested. Turns out it wasn't a school project. Turns out it was something that he thought would be a cool thing to do, would earn him some extra credit points, according to the story that's come out since that time. But essentially what he did is he said he took electronic parts and built a clock. I'm all for that. I'm all excited about that. Show some initiative. Amen, brother. I'm all for it. The problem is he put it inside a suitcase, and when you look at it, you go, that looks suspiciously like a precursor to a bomb. Now, I'm not saying if I didn't already set this up, if I showed you a picture of what it was, can you show us a picture there, man? You would go, holy cow. Well, there you go. When it's looking like that, you go, well, hold on. Well, what is this? You can't see where the display is very well. And, if you look at that, you go, well, yeah. If you follow any of the Jason Bourne movies, that's what that looks like. No, I'm great. I'm all for showing some gumption. But the bottom line is I think the school overreacted, like it often does, because if it doesn't overreact and something happens, everybody goes, well, why didn't you do something? The problem is this is a Muslim kid. Now, a lot of conspiracy theories are out there that, this kid, it's a setup, everything else, it's a vast conspiracy to denigrate. I don't think that's true. And here's the reason why. Hanlon's razor. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
And if those of you who are just now listening, Hanlon's razor is never a tribute to malice, that which can be better explained by stupidity. Here is this kid. He's wanting to do well. He's probably a favorite of the teacher. He's going to take apart something else and put it back together and go, hey, isn't this really a cool thing? Mm-hmm. Right? I can see that. Except it looks like a bomb. That's what it looks like. And I don't care who it is. That's what it looks like.
That's easy to say, though.
It is, but you could see, looking at that, holy smokes, what is that? It wouldn't matter if the kid was white, green, yellow from Mars.
But that's the easy thing to say in a situation like this. And I read a lot about this over the last couple of days because I wasn't familiar with it when it first happened, and I saw some of the comments that my favorite lefty atheists, Bill Maher and Richard Dawkins, had to say about this. Richard Dawkins and Bill Maher and Christopher Hitchens, when he was alive, often got a lot of grief from the left for bashing Muslims all the time, being accused of Islamophobia, hate speech, all this stuff, by saying things like, I think Bill Maher said that Islam is the mother lode of bad ideas, and just stuff like that. Not because they're atheists, they don't say very many nice things about Christians either, but they make a distinction when they say that there's one religion that supports folks that kill other people. And they were both making comments about how the bomb looked and I think Dawkins went off this weird thing about how he wasn't inventing anything. It was a fake, and the whole thing was, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But the assumption that it looked like a bomb, and then the reaction to the outrage of, well, they set the school up because they're these Muslims that want attention and they want to have this extreme reaction and so on and so forth. The question that I came to was, if you think that way, if you impute some sort of higher level thinking on the family other than, oh crap, we weren't allowed to talk to our kid when he was being interviewed by the police, which is a complete violation of his rights, by the way, impute some sort of further thinking, some sort of malice behind what he did, don't you kind of have to say that, well, we sort of just think that's what Muslims do at this point? Don't you have to generalize in that regard a little bit?
And I would agree, But the bottom line is
and that's wrong.
What it looks like.
And it's wrong, though. You see what I'm saying?
But I'm not saying it looks like a bomb because he's a Muslim. I'm saying it looks like a bomb because it's a bomb. Now, the other stuff you're talking about, just assuming that this kid is trying to set us up, I don't believe that. And you know what a fan I am of conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I believe Hanlon's razor describes that much better. Part of my issue with this is the overreaction that the schools have to everything. I mean, I have a kid who's serving time in the youth shelter for having forgotten his whittling knife. He takes a knife. He loves to whittle. It's one of the things he does to relax. Forgets it in his pockets, late to school, doesn't take it out. There you go. He's suspended. Now he's going to yes, because that's apparently what the problem is, And then you have these kids who have drawn guns. Well, hi, here's a gun I draw. Don't you think that's neat? Oh, my goodness. There have been kids, been expelled, had the police come in, do the same kind of thing for drawing pictures, right? One kid, and I wish I should have looked this one up before I got on the show so I'd know exactly what I'm talking about. One kid ate part of his Pop-Tarts, so it looked like a gun.
I heard about that.
Right? Come on. This is an overreaction by our society. Not just those people in school, but our society. Going, well, hold on. Well, there has to be something reasonable here. I think the kid was clever. Mm-hmm. I don't think he deserves a trip to the White House. I don't think he deserves a job by offered him a job, Yahoo or Google or
Microsoft, I think.
Microsoft, whatever.
Right? Well, the bottom
line is,
but questions of what he deserves are kind of irrelevant because he's just a kid and he got national attention. This happens all the time when these things go viral, so to speak, anymore. I mean, that's just that to me is just sort of like the culture that we live in. That some for 5 minutes somebody gets raised up, and it's not a question of what they deserve, what it's worth.
Well, what about this? The kid's Muslim, so he gets invited to the White House. Other kids have gone through something similar. They don't get invites.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. What difference does that make? Why is that relevant?
It makes a big difference to those on the left.
It makes a big difference to you. You're the one that's complaining about it. So what difference does it make that he got invited to the White House? Who cares?
Well, but we go back to the same thing the point you were making earlier. Well, I was reading all this stuff. Well, who cares about that? Simply because it's a different kind of racism doesn't mean that.
Oh, it's racism now. What's racist about it?
The fact that other kids get in the spot that aren't Muslim, then they don't get an invitation to the White House. Don't you think that's racist? I
have no idea who any of those kids are. Can you provide me an example?
Because they never make the news, and
frankly, then how is
the left doesn't care.
Then how?
It's only when the people match what the left's ideas should be that this stuff ever hits the news. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right?
Well, you're completely wrong.
I'm not
that.
wrong. I'm absolutely right.
No, you're absolutely wrong.
We're gonna finish.
I love that you drop down non-supported anecdotal nonsense at the end of the show.
No, it's not anecdotal.
It's my favorite thing.
You even said, "Well, yeah, I saw that about the Pop-Tart thing." It's all supported.
Oh,
it's only.
Wait.
It's
So
only
hold on a
when
second. Hold on a second.
The left's narrative is spun up on this. That ever makes the news. Now, I'm going to take the last word.
No, you're not. Why is it that you guys can't?
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back.
You guys can't.
20 seconds.
What is the problem? Why did this have to become the right is who made it political in the first place? Because somebody said, "Well, boy, this Muslim kid," and the right went completely bananas. So you tell me next week why you guys have to make everything political constantly. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
I gave him the last word. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Although I think at that time, Lefty will have a black eye.
Oh, I might not be here, actually.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going to be?
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
All right. See you next week, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.